Be sure to check out the continually updated group standings here as we move into the knockout bracket later. Those are physically displayed behind the grandstand here. Just across from one of our merchandise booths, where you can pick up official TST gear, hats, t-shirts, and more in a variety of colors, as well as team gear. Also, various food options available.
Welcome back to Soccer Park in Cary, Field 5, Group C action, and a game that is simply for pride as Club Necaxa and Virginia Dream both 0-2. Tel Aviv and SLCFC have already advanced out of Group C. They'll be playing for their seeds. These two teams will be playing, say, they won a game in the TST. Club Necaxa, as you beat down the rules, 7v7, 20-minute halves. Subs on the fly, no throw-ins, only kick-ins. Every game ends in target score time. There's also no offside, so flowing all the way around. And as we break down this game, Necaxa, they've been good. I mean, they've been a little bit unlucky. They've lost both games by 1 goal in target time. They lost to SLCFC 4-3. Where Espinoza scored in that game. As we take a look at the group action right here, you see it, Club Necaxa and Virginia Dream, but big picture, Newtown Pride and Kingdom FC already through on Group A. Blade and Grass FC in a game seen earlier here on Field 5. They are the winner of Group B. The DMB Diplomats also advance. We already know the two teams for Group C. We just don't know the seeding, and we have our game, again, playing just for the ability to say they won a game at TST. Got to keep an eye on Group D because coming out of Group C, Tel Aviv and SLCFC will play the top two teams. As you can also see, that's already done. Cultured by Mo Ali and Far East United. So things starting to work their way into form. And Club Necaxa and Virginia Dream, they knew when they woke up this morning they were already out. But Necaxa has been very good. Meanwhile, Virginia Dream, they have only scored 1 goal. They've been outscored 8-1. We'll focus on Necaxa and Espinoza, number 11. He scored in the heartbreak loss to SLCFC, and along with Pineda, scored again in the 2-3 loss to Tel Aviv. Luis Espinoza for Club Necaxa will be one to watch. Even if he doesn't start, he has been electric off the bench, which has been a key part. Meanwhile, for the Virginia Dream, as they take their team picture, it is Pancho that we keep an eye on, and his brother was just eliminated, Austin Pancho, playing for Hoosian Army. Logan Pancho, who was really good for Stanford. So the two Pancho brothers, Logan Pancho has scored the only goal in the TST for the Virginia Dream. I'll tell you a little bit more about the Virginia Dream. They are a Virginia-based team featuring former UVA soccer players as well as natives to the DMV area. The Dream are currently in the NPSL and PSSL and have won the WPL regular season and postseason title in just their first year. Founded in 2022, Virginia Dream FC is trying to create an organic connection between soccer, art, fashion, and music, sparking a unique culture built around collaboration and hard work. I'll talk right here again with pride on the line. Never easy when you come into a tournament like this. You hope to, for lack of a better word, shock the world and make a deep run, knowing that you've got one more game to play, 40 minutes plus target time, knowing that this will be your last game at the TST. We'll see how that affects the flow of play in it as we get ready, as we bring you wall-to-wall coverage of the TST with $1 million going to be given out shortly after 4 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. That game will start at 3 o'clock on Sunday, on CNBC. Necaxa in their familiar red and white striped jerseys feature a lot of former Necaxa players and former Liga Mexico players. Necaxa is good, as I said, a little bit of heartbreak city in losing both of their games by just one lonely goal, essentially target time, well, not essentially, target time goals. As both teams ready to roll here. Virginia Dream in the dark and pink. Both teams are ready. Both teams are set. And Club Necaxa in Group C taking on the Virginia Dream. Both these teams looking for their first win. Virginia Dream start Sosa in goal. They have Mejia number 80, Coffey 22, Withrow number 10, Chavez number 11, Williamson number 8, and Williamson number 15. That's the starting lineup for the Virginia Dream. For Club Necaxa, it's worth noting that Paulina Castro Leon, who plays in the Mexican Women's Professional League, which is really starting to develop. In fact, the team that plays here in the NWSL, the North Carolina Courage, went to Mexico for preseason and played a lot of Mexico teams. We actually broadcast their game against Monterrey, and Monterrey won that game, to give you an idea of the quality of play, beating the perennial power that is the North Carolina Courage. So good to see right there on the ball, Paulino Castro Leon getting to start the game for Club Necaxa. As you know, the U.S. women's team entered a team with all women. They have found the going tough, but they have still been a delight to watch. Everybody has enjoyed being with them. It was cool to see Chris Paul, one of the investors of TBT and TST, with his family, particularly spending time with Lindsey Harris, who, despite giving up several goals, saved a ton, as that shot not there from the Virginia team. And a couple of the teams have added a couple of women, as AJ De La Garza's team had Lauren Sesselman, the former Canadian international and star at Purdue, on the team. She hasn't played very much, but Zala also is eliminated, so perhaps Lauren Sesselman will play a little bit more in their final game. 2 minutes in. Club Necaxa. Necaxa is the first Liga Mexico team to be involved, obviously, in the TST. The club was purchased in 2021 by a group that includes Eva Longoria, Sean Marion, Justin Verlander, and Kate Upton. Necaxa is entering its 100th professional season and has spent 73 years in the top division of Mexican soccer, winning 24 domestic championships and 2 CONCACAF championships, as Necaxa is dangerous inside the goal area, knocked away by the Virginia Dream and out of bounds. The team representing the historic Liga Mexico side is comprised of quite a few former Necaxa stars, and as I mentioned, some other stars from Mexico. Necaxa, 3 minutes in. The goalkeeper for the Virginia Dream is Alejandra Sosa. The goalkeeper for Necaxa is Luis Robles. This will be a decent chance for the Virginia Dream after the whistle. As over the ball is Samuel Mejia. Mejia looking at a one-man wall from Necaxa. 4 minutes in. Withrow ties his shoes, kept on the ground. Withrow just tied his shoes with his left foot, knocked off of Necaxa. It'll be a kick in for the Virginia Dream. Knocked out of bounds. It will come back to Necaxa. Virginia Dream lost their first game 6-1 to Tel Aviv. Pancho with the only goal, and then lost 2-0 to SLCFC. And Tel Aviv They're playing for the C1 title, as both Tel Aviv and SLCFC come in with 6 points. Whoever wins that game will be the Group C winner, and the Group C winner will play Far East United in the knockout round later today. The Group C loser of that game, which is still not a loser because they're C2, they will play Culture by Mo Ali FC, who's the D1 winner. Dallas United was disqualified, and West Ham United did decide to play today, but it was already determined who the 1 and 2 was out of Group D. Group C, again, the storyline is
Cyril Oliveira on the board for
what kind of mojo, what kind of energy do you bring to a game that you know doesn't mean anything as it relates to trying to win that $1 million when your TST tournament is done. Either way, win or lose in this game.
And currently in the 28th minute.
6 minutes in. No score. One there by Keith Witherell. Good run here by the Virginia Dream. It's worth mentioning that in our last game on this field, there were 2 red cards given for substitution issues, which has been a key point kind of in bold writing for how you sub in and out. And if you don't follow it right, it is in the rules, it's a red, which means you're out and then you miss the next game. Grass FC got the win. They won all 3 games, but one of their star players, Niasi, who has been lighting it up and really was the reason for the first goal in the game for Blade and Grass, is one of those players. So
if you plan on taking
in this game, it doesn't matter because they're not advancing anyway, but they seem a little foggy on the rules. A day after a really busy day is the best way to say it. 7 minutes in. Virginia Dream. This game's starting to open up here now as we're 7 minutes in. The counters have been on. The Virginia Dream trying to send it across. They were hoping for a corner. They don't get it. There was a missing shin guard. The referee picks it up, gets it back to the rightful owner. As you see the other score in Group C, it's worth keeping an eye on that one because the winner of that will be the winner of Group C. This is the one key part about our coverage today across all of the platforms for the TST is we're watching this game, but we're keeping an eye on the other games in that group and then what we will call the adjacent group. As we explained earlier, good opportunity here for Virginia Dream. Denied there by Necaxa's goalkeeper. Good job by Robles, Luis Robles. And the Dream is fouled. They'll get it back. And coming out of the game as part of the sub will be the man who drew that, Keith Witherell.
West Ham is in the sponsored by Mo Ali FC 2-1 inside the stadium.
Wow, you cannot take your eye off the ball as Mejia forgot the ball and it goes out of bounds. One back by Necaxa. 9 minutes in. One bounce to Sosa, and Sosa's got it.
Things quiet now on field 3, but we'll have a Group E tilt later on today. And scheduled for approximately 45 minutes from now. The time now 11:15.
He's played with the Fredericksburg Fire before coming to the Virginia Dream.
1907 and the U.S. women high-profile matchup pair scheduled to kick at noon.
This is good work here from the Dream defensively. As getting stuck in there is Demetrius Shepard-Lewis, who just came in for Wetherell. Robles.
Nice
Necaxa on the ball.
Youth players as well as adults. Renegade GK in the building. Some of the most unique products in soccer.
So come back to Gerard Castillo. He'll give it up and he'll get it back. Castillo, 10 minutes in. Club Necaxa. Virginia Dream still scoreless almost halfway through the first half.
You can check out the gear.
Deflected out from Mejia. It'll be a corner kick for Necaxa.
On site this week. Phenomenal deals there. Take advantage. Soccer.com also physically on site here near the entrance where you can pick up
continuing to make subs
TST
here.
Merchandise as well as team gear.
Game like this, if you're healthy and want to get a little run in, I think they'll be less worried about matchups and who's playing where and more worried about getting some touches and everybody getting involved here in their final game of the TST. On the ball now for the Virginia Dream. Brandon Williamson will go out of bounds. He's passed a little bit off target. Necaxa push back over, find the feet of Pineda. Pineda has also been effective. Like Espinoza, he has scored in both games. Pineda, Espinoza, and Baez in game 1, and Pineda and Espinoza in game 2. Again, the Virginia Dream, their only goal has come from Mr. Pancho, who, like I said, whose brother played at Indiana. They met in college when he was at Indiana and his brother Logan was at Stanford. "12 minutes in, no score." Robles. A ton of pressure that time coming from Angura. One back, open goal, yes, the Virginia Dream. Defense turning into offense. Good work there, Williamson and Bangura, and it's 1-0 Virginia Dream on top as Robles found himself in no man's land. And the Virginia Dream is on the board, 1-0. Now at minute 12. Coxa trying to answer quickly. The Virginia Dream headed the other way.
Good one going on field number 5 here at TST.
Go out of bounds. So Paul Bangura played for the Bearcats,
1-0 lead on
Cincinnati, for joining the Virginia Dream. "1-0 Virginia Dream leading it. Meanwhile, Tel Aviv looking to win Group C has a 1-0 lead as well over SLCFC. Still plenty of time in that one. A lot of eyes to see who is the winner of Group C. Whoever wins that game will get that C1 tag, and they'll play D2, the second place finisher out of Group D. Of Necaxa, a banger right there, but not quite on target. And Sosa knew it, didn't bother with it much. Coming up at 12:30 on this field, we will have Group F action, Gracie FC against Hashtag United. That game is similar to this one in that Hashtag United has already punched the ticket, and because Natty SC and Conrad and Beasley United both have 3 points, one of those winners will get 6, so that game also. The only thing it will mean is if Hashtag United loses. No, Hashtag already beat those 2 teams, so Hashtag United is already the Group F winner on any scenario, so. Field 5 will leave you smiling, though, with their last game, because NCFC will take on Duke, and that game will determine who joins the Raleigh Rebels out of Group H. And let me tell you, that group with the Raleigh Rebels, NCFC, and Duke, Charlotte is out, has been outstanding. It's been a North Carolina derby here at the North Carolina field, and just getting the second goal once again was number 77 for the Virginia Dream, who's looked good, Paul Bangura, the former Bearcat, which is interesting that he's a Bearcat, as in the opposite group that I just talked about, Natty SC repping Cincinnati in good form. McLaughlin has been incredible. It was good to spend time with Chad Johnson. He has played. I mean, he isn't just here. I mean, he's tried to play anyway. I asked him after the game, I said, it looks like you're poaching, trying to find one. And he's like, yeah, man, I am, but it's hard. He essentially threw out the child please. As we are in the 16th minute. The Virginia Dream with the only goal in this game.
Recapping some scores from earlier this morning for those just joining us here at TST. Kingdom FC defeated Borussia Dortmund 7-1 inside the stadium this morning. Newtown Fire FC took down Hoosier Army 3-1. And Wolves notched a 5-2 victory against DMV Diplomats.
Necaxa across midfield, trying to find the right angles to break down this Virginia Dream. Drop it long, it'll go off of Necaxa, and Virginia Dream with a 1-0 lead will have it again. In a game like this, where the referee understands, perhaps not quite as strict about that 5-second rule to keep things moving, nonetheless, the Virginia Dream adhere, and they do keep things moving, try to build it out of the back. Stay with Necaxa. Necaxa with the kick in. No throw-ins. No sliding tackles. Turnover. Necaxa, so both teams score off a turnover. How about that? Both teams capitalize off of turnovers. And we came on the air talking about number 11 for Necaxa. And the man delivers. Espinoza has scored again. Espinoza leads Club Necaxa now with 3 goals. That was a beauty as we're tied at 1s. Espinoza. Both goals similar. A little defensive lapse initially by Necaxa allowed Virginia Dream to score, and now Virginia Dream with a defensive lapse, and Espinoza pounces, and we're tied at 1 with minute 18 here of the first half. Meanwhile, Tel Aviv still leading SLCFC as they're approaching the half. Reminding you that Tel Aviv game is to determine who wins this group, Group C. And the winner will play Far East United in the knockout round. The loser will play Culture by Mo Ali, the Viral Sensation FC. Viral Sensation is not part of the name, but Mo Ali is indeed a viral sensation. He had a yellow card in a game that I was calling, and he was upset on the air. Was one of the few people that can make a yellow card even look good. As he had a little smile to go with it, then just got up, walked over to the bench, and sat out for quite some time. He did return. Minute 19. Just talking about the other groups, one of the biggest surprises, as you heard me talk about in the last game as well, is Hoosier Army, which consisted of a lot of the members of the 2012 National Championship team and a lot of the members who have made it to the championship game on this field in 2 of the last 3 years. In the COVID year, they played Marshall and lost in the final, and then last December they played Syracuse and lost in the final. Both heartbreaking losses, and now the Hoosiers had to believe walking into today that they were looking good, and their TST tournament is over. Kind of a shocker because you feel like they were one of the better teams. No extra time, so just about 24 seconds remaining here in this first half. Good ball here, and a shot coming for the Virginia Dream. That was from number 20, Demetrius Shepard-Lewis. And that will do it for the first half. Virginia Dream scored first, pouncing on a defensive error by Club Necaxa, and almost kind of repeating itself. Necaxa jumping on a defensive error from the Virginia Dream, and Espinoza with his 3rd goal of the TST leads us to a halftime score of Club Necaxa 1, Virginia Dream 1. We'll step aside during halftime and be back for the second half of our Field 5 coverage of the TST.
Looking at the halftime stats for the matchup taking place on Field 5, Virginia Dream, Club Necaxa once again tied at 1. 6 shots per side, 1 on goal each. Both of those resulting in goals. 1-1 at the half on Field 5. Virginia Dream v. Club Necaxa. Target score time inside the stadium underway. West Ham 3, Culture by Mo Ali FC 2. Target time score is 4. The tension and drama continues to build inside the stadium. That match now is tied at 3 between West Ham United and Culture by Mo Ali FC. Claude Diona on the board for Culture by Mo Ali. Tying the match at 3. Target score is 4. Culture by Mo Ali FC undefeated thus far in TST play. West Ham looking for their first official victory. If you're just joining us here at TST on day 2, first of all, welcome. Scores from earlier this morning. In Group A, Kingdom FC defeated Dortmund by a score of 7-1. Also in Group A, Newtown Pride FC 3, Hoosier Army 1. Wolves defeated D&B Diplomats by a score of 5-2 earlier this morning as a Group B affair. Also in Group B, good one between Blade and Glass FC as they defeat Villita FC 2-1 earlier this morning in Group B play. Inside the stadium, the tension still building. Good one going between Culture by Mowali FC and West Ham. Next goal wins. They are tied at 3.
Don't be waiting on us. They're good, we're good. Everybody just looks like we're waiting around. Want to be sure not waiting on us. Since we're all in match, from us.
On field 4, we're underway in the second half. The score 1-0 as Hapoel Tel Aviv leads SLC FC.
And we are now down to 6 versus 6.
Inside the stadium, target score time in effect. Next goal wins 3 all time between Culture Mowali FC and West Ham. They are down to 66. In target score time, each 5-minute period that passes, each team will drop a player. They've gone from 7v7 to 6-on-6. Inside the stadium, next goal wins Culture by Mo, LA FC, and West Ham.
Welcome back to our Field 5 coverage of this Group C matchup. Both teams looking for their first win. That shot right there kind of says it all. This one, Club Necaxa and the Virginia Dream. They've had a good time, but their dream of winning $1 million is over. Now it's a matter of who leaves here saying, hey, I won a game in TST. Tied at 1, both goals coming off defensive lapses. Group A is complete as Newtown Pride wins Group A. They'll take on the DMV Diplomats. Kingdom FC finishes second, and they'll take on Blade and Grass FC, the 9-point winners out of Group B. Meanwhile, in the Group D, Culture by Mowali FC, they've already advanced. They'll play the loser of the Tel Aviv SLC FC game, which is going on right now. Far East United, the D2 placement, will face the winner of that game. That gets you kind of caught up as Group E and F will get rolling, and then G and H. Big game on Field 5 down the road here is the Duke 7th taking on North Carolina FC. and Raleigh Rebels in at 6. So the winner of the NCFC game and Duke 7's game will join the Raleigh Rebels in the knockout round. That game will mean a ton. NCFC and Raleigh Rebels came down to just one lonely go. It is out of bounds and will come back to Club Necaxa. Espinoza with the goal. Brandon Williamson with the goal for the Virginia Dream. 22nd minute. Club Necaxa. Necaxa. Just kind of kicking it around. You can see the lines there, 1 of 3, 1 of 2 for the Virginia Dream that Necaxa needs to break down. They took some time doing it, and this one will be out of bounds and come back to the Virginia Dream. Good little dummy there from the Dream, as running over it was Liam Eason. From behind, and down goes Brandon Williamson. Brandon Williamson on it now, feeling a little bit of pressure. DC United youth team. Brandon Williamson played for Duke 2016 and 19, played for Wake FC, Loudoun United, and now the Virginia Dream.
Target score is 4, next goal wins. Again, each 5 minutes that passes in target score time, each side will drop a player 5v5 inside the stadium. Next goal wins.
25 minutes in. Both goals coming on defensive miscues in the goal box, where Virginia Dream first pounced, and then Espinoza, who has scored a goal in every game for Club Necaxa, did the same thing when Virginia Dream had a little defensive miscue in and around the goal box, and then hammered home by Espinoza. And that's where we stand, tied at 1, 25th minute. Handball called against the Virginia Dream. It'll come back to Club Necaxa. Because people are wondering, again, coming out of Group A, Newtown Pride FC and Kingdom FC, virtue of goal differential.
We are now tied up on field 4.
Kingdom FC scored a ton of goals against Dortmund, and that passed Indiana. And when all 3 teams come in at 6, they go to goal differential. And Hoosier Army very disappointed. Group B, the DMV Diplomats did enough with their goal differential to join the perfect 3-0 Grass FC.
Group C,
you already know the 2 teams that are advancing. They're tied at 1, Tel Aviv and SLC FC. The winner of that game will be C1. The loser will obviously be C2. Group D is already decided. Culture by Mo Ali FC is the winner. Far East United is the D2. Far East United will play the winner of the Tel Aviv SLC FC game. away at kind of a tough angle there by Robles. My apologies, that was Sosa. Sosa with a nice save. We're in minute 27. Group E, the Wrexham Red Dragons. How cool is it having them here? They sit at 2-0 with 6 points. Como 1907 and Saybird FC each with 3. That is the group that also includes Heather O'Reilly and a lot of former USA superstars. I mentioned one of the key investors for TBT and TST, Chris Paul, had his family watching the women, and then he spent some cool time with Lindsay Harris, who has been really good. So, for those of you wondering, when there's only 2 teams, the first tiebreaker is head-to-head. But when there's 3 teams sitting on the same points, whether it's at 6 to determine the top 2, it's goal differential, because you can't really go head-to-head based on the various scenarios between those 3. If it's only 2, first tiebreaker is the head-to-head. But we have seen so far a couple scenarios where 3 teams slide in there, and that's what cost the Hoosier Army, as Dortmund really didn't bring it, and you saw Kingdom FC score a ton of goals, and because of that, they ended up passing Hoosier Army in goal differential. 29th minute, Necaxa and the Virginia Dream.
1-2-4. Apple Tel Aviv pulls ahead of SLC FC by a score of 2-1.
Tel Aviv just scored to go up on SLC, and a long distance crank there from Necaxa, not on target. Sosa, there's another mistake. Sosa comes out, he's a little bit banged up, and Necaxa's made it 2-1. Necaxa on the board again here in the second half, and meanwhile Sosa holding his left foot. And really all 3 goals have come via a little bit of defensive mistakes here. Sosa got out of the goal box, and a little bit of a collision there. They play on, and Necaxa has the lead 2-1. As we're in minute 30. So Espinoza with 3, and I believe Pineda scored. So Pineda and Espinoza, they have scored in every game, so they have been models of consistency. Sosa going to shake it off. May have been a cramp, but also a little bit of, talked about this game playing for pride, and came out and knew that he put his team in a tough position, and Necaxa capitalized as Sosa could not do anything with it right at the edge of the goal box, and then left the goal wide open, and that's why Pineda was able to score like Espinoza in all 3 games, and because of that, Necaxa has a 2-1 lead. If it ended right now, the target score would be 3. Virginia Dream, though, answered right back. How about that for an instant return as the Virginia Dream, Terrell Williamson scores, and it's 2-2. So Terrell Williamson and Brandon Williamson featuring prominently for the Virginia Dream. Terrell Williamson graduated college in 2017. Still looks pretty good. Now the Virginia Dream. Wow, what a great response from the Virginia Dream. That man right there, number 15.
Group E affair between Como 1907 and the U.S. women.
So Tel Aviv looking to set the target at 3 over there. They've got a 2-1 lead. SLCFC, let's see if they can equalize in the final 5 minutes. We'll keep you updated, as the winner of that game will be the winner of Group C. The loser will be the second place finisher. Both those teams are already through, Tel Aviv and SLCFC, but I feel like for whatever reason, just kind of based on the way these groups are set up, winning the group is really big, because there are a couple of groups that were absolutely stacked. I feel like the TST folks did a great job of understanding the importance of media and the social influence part, and then also the dynamics of the North Carolina teams, the dynamics of the European teams, the college teams, and the groups were really well placed. But sometimes that doesn't mean, for instance, there are some good teams that a lot of people thought could maybe win it that are not even advancing to the knockout round based on those scenarios. But I think it added a lot of quality and value to the entertainment yesterday. And I think when we get to the knockout stage, and also when we get to the Duke versus NCFC game on this field 2 games from now, when that's ostensibly like a playoff game or a play-in game, you will get that intensity return. This game here, as I said from the start, neither team had won a game, so they know that their TST tour is over when this one's done, but they are playing with a lot of pride here. They picked it up here, to their credit. Yeah, you can see right now a little extra gear as Tierra rolling around. Spent some time with DC United and Loudoun United. We're in minute 35. Wow, West Ham, to their credit, was talking about maybe not even playing today in a group that already saw Dallas disqualified. They show up and they do play, and they beat Culture 4-3.
The match winner scored in the 15th.
West Ham decided to play. And you understand like these two teams, one of them could have said, you know, hey, no, we're good, but they come here and they see it out and play this last game. Good experience for all involved. I think the biggest thing is getting out of this game healthy. Sosa makes a good save for the Dream to keep this one tied at 2. Game before it, tied at 1, heading to target time. So time.
Next match inside the stadium starts in approximately 15 minutes. That is a Group E affair. Wrexham will take on Sayward FC. That is the next match inside the stadium. Secretary
Necaxa.
Group E.
14th, a little better movement here, even with 5 minutes remaining. I like the intensity level that they're bringing to the game. That was Fernando Lopez, number 5, giving goal. He was hoping to get it back. Instead, they square it central, shot from distance, deflected by the Virginia Dream. And getting in the way is Tierra. Now it'll be a kick in for the Dream. Wrexham Red Dragons Group E 2-0 with a goal differential of 13. A lot of those goals coming against the U.S. women's team, which again, it's been awesome to have them there and have Mia Hamm on the sideline and Bill Palladino and Wendy Gebauer, Michelle Akers, Carla Overbeck. Those are players that aren't even playing but yet are here to support the U.S. women, led by the high energy of Heather O'Reilly, who is afraid of nothing. I mean, she can do 10 things at the same time. To credit in the media press conferences, which I can't stop bragging about on Wednesday, I just felt like the TST leadership did an amazing job with their game plan to promote this event and use the powers of social media. Heather O'Reilly was flat out like, hey, we're going to try to win some games. They haven't been able to score. There's another goal by Tierra, and it's 3-2. The Virginia Dream have adjusted the target score. Tierra has really been good here in the second half. He's been good on the tackle and been good on the touch, and a nice finish for the youngster, number 7. So now Necaxa, who really have to feel a little bit snake bit as they lost by 1 in both their games, find themselves down 1 again in the 38th minute. Tierra headed the other way again. Tierra waiting for his fellow player as he finally popped it off to Bangura. They'll lose it. Necaxa now time to tie it up here before we go to target time. Target right now would be 4 if it ended in this scoreline. Williamson looking for more. Bangura crosses it. Oh, what a save. Big time save by Robles. Huge. Keeping this one at 3-2, Robles. Boy, in all shapes and sizes, the goalkeeping has been pretty good at the TST. Some quality saves. Luther Army's CeeLo Christian Lomelli was out of this world and had the game winner against Kingdom. I've said it before, I gotta admit, I'm still in shock that Hoosier Army is out of the TST. 39th minute. Walking our way up to minute 40. So we're gonna have 90 seconds of extra time. I've been calling games since 1996, and I don't think I've ever been told there's 90 seconds of extra time. But they have it down to the second. Popped around. Oh, and there's a great finish. Nothing Sosa can do as Necaxa has tied it, and that changes everything here. As if it holds, remember we still have 90 more seconds to come here though, but what a nice goal scored by Necaxa. The finish right there from Valdivia, and Valdivia has made it 3-3, and here we start those 90 seconds. It says +1, but I believe they do plan to add on 30 onto that. We'll see. Dara, who's been effective, this game tied at 3. Both these teams trying to find their first win in the TST. And showing some heart. And the good thing is somebody's got to leave here with a win, and they leave with a win on a goal, which is the great thing about the target scoring situation for every game, including the final 3 o'clock Sunday on CNBC at Wakeman Soccer Park, main stadium, championship field. Cannot wait for that. And we will go to target time with the target time. Target set at 4. Next goal wins. Pretty simple. Takes the guesswork out of it. They're both tied at 3, so whoever gets to 4 in this extra time will get that win. Target score is set. It's 4. It's tied, so we don't need to worry about this +1. It's 3-3. Just whoever scores wins it. And if after 5 minutes we don't have a winner, they'll take off a player. Another 5 minutes, another player. And we have seen it get down to 2v2. We're still waiting and hoping that one of the games will have a 1v1 situation to see what that looks like. Who do you leave out there at 1v1? Do you, I guess you leave your goalie so that your goalie can still make a play. I guess, I don't know. That'll be fascinating. Hard to figure it'll get there, although it was hard to figure that the Hoosier Army Kingdom game would get down to 2 players. Kingdom did well to answer back 2 off the target time set to tie it, and then a lot of drama. They left it all out there in that game. Club Necaxa and Virginia Dream. Meanwhile, Tel Aviv has set the target at 4. They need 1 to win Group C. And a win in Group C means a matchup against Far East United. A loss in that game means a matchup against the D1 winner, Culture by Mo Ali FC. Those games will be played later tonight.
Target score is 4.
We already know that Newtown Pride, the A1 winner, will play the DMV Diplomats. Blade and Grass FC, the Group B winner, will play Kingdom FC.
On field 5, Goodwin knotted at 3 between Club Necaxa and Virginia Dream.
Logan Poncho, what a family the Poncho family is. Just amazing. Austin Poncho for the Hoosiers, who spent 2 years with the North Carolina FC team here, represented Hoosier Army, scored a couple huge goals in that win over Kingdom. They're beautiful goals. One where he popped it to himself and volleyed it. And his brother Logan Poncho representing the Virginia Dream. Both of the Ponchos entrepreneurs doing really well away from the soccer field. Both target scores here in this group at 4, and Necaxa gets it. They start the target score and they finish it almost instantly, as coming up with the winner for Necaxa is Pineda. He gets 2. He'll finish with 4 goals in the tournament, and he'll give Club Necaxa the answer. Virginia Dream gave everything and more. They went into the game having scored only 1. They get 3, but Club Necaxa, who had 2 heartbreaking 1-goal losses, this time they get the thrill of victory courtesy of a brace from Pineda. Your final score is Club Necaxa 4, Virginia Dream 3. We'll sign off and be back with more action here. Game 5. Or Field 5 of the TST.
As they take down Virginia Dream 4-3. Heck of a match on Field 5 as Necaxa gets it done for Liga MX, taking down Virginia Dream 4-3. Next match on Field 5 is a group campus affair between Gracie FC and #United. Kicking off shortly inside the stadium in Group E, Sayward FC as they take on Rensa.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Group Stage Round 3 of the Cary, North Carolina. This is the 32nd team event that ends with a single championship of $1 million. These 2 teams will battle in the European knockout round later this evening. It's now time for the matchup between Sayward FC and Wrexham Red Dragons. Wrexham Red Dragons will be the away team on the scoreboard, and Seymour FC will be the home team. Wrexham is led by General Manager John Harvey, and Seymour is led by General Manager Russell Morgan. Please welcome the kickoff group for today's game presented by Blue Cross MC. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina is proud to be the official health insurance partner of TST. Blue Cross MC, your hometown advantage for 90 years. And now, fans, let's meet the players for Seymour FC. Number 10, Ricardo Aguilar. Number 32, Raymond Brooks. Number 17, Diego Gaffuni. Number 5, Renato Henze. Number 13, Cody Eichner. Number 3, Lawrence Jackson. Number 2, Salafi Jaka. Number 8, Wendell Landy. Number 18, Christian Hill. Number 24, Alejandro Lopez. Number 1, Brandon Miller. Number 11, Giovanni Morgan. Number 7, Emmanuel Alugi. 23, Alexander Paul. Number 21, Reed Rod. 33, Caleb Steele. Number 0, Tyler Yates. And now let's meet the players for the Wrexham Red Dragons. Number 11, George Boyd. Number 4, Scott Butler. Number 13, Mark Carrington. Number 5, Nicholas Cavallo. Number 6, Liam Grimshaw. Number 1, Mark Howard. Number 12, Daniel Jarvis. Number 13, David Jones. Number 2, Daniel Jones. Number 7, Lewis Lloyd. Number 3, Philip Markovic. Number 9, Andrew Morrell. Number 8, Paul Rutherford. Number 10, Lee Trundle. TST rules are as follows. There is no slide tackling, no offside. The replay due 20-minute halves followed by target score time. At the end of the second half, reset a target score by adding 1 to the leading team's goaltender. The first team to reach that target score wins. During target score time, a player will be removed from each team every 5 minutes.
Era muy bueno.